What's up guys, that the Pencil here, back for another edition of 3 Minute Thursdays, where I discuss all the manga I've read this week in 3 minutes or less. So let's hop into it real quick, right and up and direct with Dr. Stone. So, Dr. Stone this week was pretty fire as always, because we got some interesting things. So last week I talked about how I thought Zeno would hesitate on Senku, because he knew Senku, he was a scientist, he's an MMA fighter, they have similar mindsets. However, those fundamental differences that I also brought up last week, that Senku wants to help people, but Zeno wants to control people, that ended up coming into play this week in a really interesting way, because shockingly enough, it wasn't Dr. Zeno who hesitated, it was Stanley who hesitated. He got the lock on Senku in a really interesting fashion by Dr. Zeno figuring out who Senku would be, or his height range and demographic, Stanley analyzing the entire thing using Luna as a yardstick, then figuring all that out and top it all off with Luna actually exposing where Stanley was, forcing Senku to show off his ability to think and act as a scientist, which ended up in Senku's exposure. Now, the thing about that, all that is super interesting, is after all that, Stanley hesitates and just like, yo, bro, let me level with you real quick. I'm about to shoot this guy, and you know it's me. So I'm about to shoot him dead. So, you sure you want this guy dead, bro? And Dr. Zeno pauses, he hesitates, he's like, man, he really is a fellow scientist, the things we could do together. But then he remembers the fundamental differences between himself and Senku, and that leads to Dr. Zeno saying, execute him right here, right now. Get rid of him right here, right now. And I wasn't expecting that, I'll be completely real. I thought Zeno was gonna go soft on him. But nah, Zeno wanted my man's head, and that is super crazy, yet super impressive. Like, I'm shocked. Well, yeah, no, I'm shocked. I'm shocked Zeno had, like, the mental fortitude, like, the sheer logical mind to be like, you know what? He could be a threat. I have to eliminate him no matter what preconceived notions I have. Even Senku doesn't have that to a degree. He still believes in people so much. He forgave Tsukasa. He forgave Hyoga. I don't know why that took me so long. I'm sorry. He forgave all them, but as you can tell, in the same situation, Zeno wouldn't have. He would have killed them, and that's really, really impressive. And the way Senku ends up saving himself by making a bootleg bulletproof vest, and the way the chapter tries to fake you out, like, oh no, Senku could be dead. Nah, my boy Senku, he living. Come on now, we this ain't my first time reading Shonen. Come on now, he's the main character. You can't do that to me. But still, really, really impressive. Shows that Dr. Zeno ain't playing around, and we have some new interesting factors coming up, bro. Quality, like a 9 out of 10 chapter, like, because it shows so many things despite happening over such a short time period. It shows multiple character processes. It shows the abilities of each individual character to think on that snappy level in moments. And it shows Zeno's abilities. It shows Zeno's abilities and his rationality, Stanley's abilities and his ability to shoot, and Senku's ability with his ability to adapt and improvise. Amazing chapter, 9 out of 10. Really, really, really strong stuff. Now, to hop into the next one, we got Dragon Ball Super this week. So I've been caught up on the Dragon Ball Super manga for a minute, and the thing about it is, I really, really like it. I know a lot of people have issues with a lot of it, and story-wise, I'll admit, it's not the most solid, like, ever. Like, not even at all. I don't think it's very solid, but I like the artwork. And it's Dragon Ball. Bit of my nostalgia kicking in that's letting me let it slide so much. But what I really like about this chapter is it shows off one of my things that I happen to like in any thing that actually shows off fighting and stuff like that. It shows technique theft, and my thing about technique theft is that I love it. I don't know why. Moro absorbing 7-3, despite how ugly and stupid I think he looks. Like, hit with some ram's horn and a little bit of cell action. I think he looks a bit whack, but other than that, I'm really intrigued. I like the way it's going. And, you know, I feel bad. You know, all my Vegeta fans out there, myself included, we were all hoping, we were all dreaming, like, yeah, Vegeta's got this, dog. Toriyama wouldn't do him like that again. Yo, Toyotaro wouldn't do him like that again, right? Right? Yeah, no, Toyotaro and Toriyama did Vegeta like that again. I don't know what we expect. Like, do we think Vegeta's actually going to succeed? No, that'd be too much. That'd be too different. And we can't risk difference, because people don't like different, apparently. Shout out to some of my Vegeta fans out there. Big rips to my boy. We waiting for the Prince of Saiyans to come back up again. But the thing that gets me about this is that it locked out Fusion and Potara. The Fusion Dance and Potara, they're locked out. Because since Moro now has infinite access to whatever abilities he steals, now he has Force Spirit Vision, which he's yanked from Vegeta. So that means even if the two got healed up, even if the two fused, even if they were just like, and this is Vegito, ooh, and try to pull up on him, Moro could just be like, I bet, and punch the two apart. So that is, that's a mess. That's a mess, because now we're in a dire straits, and that's where the chapter ends. We're with Mirus popping up. Now, I'm pretty sure Mirus is about to get erased, because honestly, no one can pull up on Moro right now. Like, not at all. Unless Mirus just stalls, lets Dende get over to Goku and Vegeta, just like, alright, y'all need to heal, and y'all need to get the meanest of Zenkai boosts right now. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Goku's going to get healed and get Master Ultra Instinct again and whoop Moro. I don't want that, but unless they really want to erase Mirus in the same arc that they introduced him, the way Whis was threatening all that stuff, like, yo, bro, if you go out the Angel Code, like, I can't protect you, little bro. Like, they gonna execute you right here, right now. That's some stuff. I don't know. We're in a really interesting place. We're in a really interesting place right now. Seriously, like the chapter. Yo, how metal Moro is, how he's reaching through people, tearing them apart. Whew, all that's really, really solid. I'd say this is like a solid, once again, a 9 out of 10 chapter. Like, so many stakes built up. Oh, great chapter, all around, great chapter. Moving on next, we got some Time Paradox Ghost Rider. Now, here's the thing about this chapter. Like, I'll admit, time travel stories always confuse me. I can never, like, get them straight in my mind. I don't know. They always jack me up. They blindside me all the time. So, a part of me is just like, is this the original timeline? Or is part of this chapter the original timeline? Or is Itsuki just, like, on the down low knocked out for a little bit? Because my thing is, we don't see Sasaki at all in this chapter. Like, not once do we see Sasaki. We know this is Anima. This is Itsuki working on Anima, the series that surpasses White Knight. But I doubt we're gonna get her death, like, this quickly in the main new timeline. And another thing to note is that Mirai, the little robot that Sasaki had, was the robot of that old man. And being time paradoxing and stuff like that. Hypothetically, that old man could be Sasaki or not. Like, I don't know. That's the thing with time travel, especially how weird the time travel in this one is, you know, manga volumes popping up in a microwave. It could lead to so many different possibilities, and that's what I like about this so much. Like, honestly, it's kicking into high gear. I'm really, really liking the way Time Paradox Ghost Rider is working right now, because it picked up speed, it's picked up pace, and I'm wondering where we're going, because there are multiple options. One, this could be the original timeline, but I don't think it's that, because she's working on Anima, or at least it's implied that she's working on Anima throughout a majority of the chapter, and the original timeline she died in was the White Knight timeline. But she didn't create White Knight this time, so I'm not sure what that is. 2, this is what could happen. This is what Sasaki is dreaming of. And if he's dreaming of this, then he's gonna try and work even harder on White Knight. But that seems very, very specific, very, very weird to dream. But who knows? Future time travel stuff. 3, Itsuki just passed out because she's obviously malnourished. She hasn't been sleeping right. She's too focused on writing this manga, but she forgot about why she was creating manga in the first place. And that's like a nice little thing, because it shows that Itsuki was alone for the longest time, and there was this old man who inspired her love in manga, and she ended up taking on his dream of wanting to create the perfect manga that everyone could enjoy in the world. But she forgot why she was doing that, and thusly she let herself fall apart. She took so much of herself out of the manga that she forgot she herself was a human being. She was not the perfect mangaka, and thusly she's about to die for it, or she's in dire straits because of it. So I'm assuming Sasaki's gonna roll up, because it seems weird that he would just let her go off and not keep up with her or keep checks and tabs on her, especially since she knows that she's gonna die. Like, that's the whole thing he's trying to prevent. So I feel like we're gonna get Sasaki rolling up in the next chapter and being like, whoa, what the heck happened here? You need to eat, and like something like that. It's really, really interesting, and honestly, I'm not sure how much of this is accurate, but it's really teaching me a lot about like the life of a mangaka, which is truly interesting. I'd say this is like a juicy 10 out of 10 chapter, because it's really, really interesting. It leaves me questions. Oh, I gotta go to the next one. Shoot, I passed 3 minutes. My Hero Academia. Once again, Pro Heroes being useless. I've gotten used to it though. Like, if your name's not Endeavor, you're just worthless, I guess. And like, My Hero, I love you. I really do. I really do. I think you're a great series with some great characters. But my thing is, we're in this weird point where I don't know what to really be expecting. Like, I guess they're gonna, but I don't think they're gonna stop Gigantomachia. I think this is just stalling. I think this is a whole lot of stalling. I'm gonna be completely straight up and real with you, because as much as I would like Momo's plan to succeed, Momo's plans have never succeeded. Except for... No, her plans have succeeded in the past, but whenever they succeeded in the past, it never really meant much in the overarching. Except for the one time where she succeeded against Aizawa, which worked out well, but he was most likely holding back on them because he wanted them to pass. And 2, the second time when she left that tracker on the Nomu, but that worked out good. But like any of her mid-battle plans like this, that like actively involve her doing something, they never really work out. I can see it slowing down Gigantomachia, but we're probably gonna get Gigantomachia rushing all the way up to Shigaraki and get like Bakugo versus Gigantomachia or Endeavor versus Gigantomachia, something like that. I feel like we're just stalling because this is I'm hitting very hard. I'm getting very hard stall vibes from Horikoshi. I can't think of a previous example in the series where I also could tell it was stalling, but this is definitely some big stall because I don't think Horikoshi knows what he's doing with the main fight right now, since he put himself in such a situation where she made Shigaraki too strong for the current cast of characters. So I don't know, we're kind of in a messy spot right now. I have questions though, like what happened to Toga? Like Toga got clothes back and she's like, what was that hand that came out of the ground? Like am I crazy? Like did that happen? Didn't like Toga go nuts when she found out Twice died and like went around killing a whole bunch of people and then Gigantic Hand came out of the ground? Was that Gigantomachia? Like I'm so confused. Maybe I'm misremembering that. Tell me in the comment section down below if I'm like misremembering that chapter. I could have sworn there was something like with Toga going absolutely nuts, but now she seems perfectly calm. It's like none of them care about Twice being dead, but I guess that was a few chapters ago, so it doesn't really matter anymore. And I don't know, it's just weird. It's weird. Midnight. Oh, shout outs to Akame Woods, you know, one of the top 10 heroes. Worthless. Got body bagged by Dabi. But everyone gets body bagged by Dabi, so it's fine. 7 out of 10 chapter. I have hope if Momo can actually stop Gigantomachia. Yes! Useful female characters, let's get it! But my hopes aren't high, because I'd be completely real if you don't have much faith in Horikoshi to really let that happen. Come on now. Her name's not Bakugo, her name's not Midoriya, her name's not Endeavor. Come on now, dog. Like she's really gonna stop it. Also got a cameo from Redestro, one of my actually really like him. Sadly, he's just kind of useless right now. He's fighting no names, and when you fight no names, you're irrelevant. 9 out of 10. Actually, no, 7 out of 10. Next up, we have Bone Collection. Actually, no, we're not going to do Bone Collection just yet. We're going to hop to Undead Unlock. Now, this chapter is nice. It really is. But we should have gotten this chapter before the arc began. Or, like, the main chunk of this chapter, like, you know, the whole Fuko and Tatiana, like, bonding, all that stuff like that. We should have gotten that before. Because now it just feels kind of forced. Like, you literally have this moment that should be super impactful, and I'm just saying, if you had moved this like chapter chunk like 3 or 4 chapters back before, like right after Miss Jenny's death, then I feel like we'd be in a good spot, because it'd be like, oh yeah, these two actually have bonded in the past. But it's kind of this last minute force thing. I like it though. I mean, I like what it's resulting in. It's Titania breaking out of her. That's the thing, I don't know, because it establishes the case of Tatiana being like super powerful and her connection to Fuko, but it tries to do all that in one chapter, and it expects me to get hyped by the end of the chapter when she's about to do it right here and right now willingly. But since you tried to hype it up not just the page before, it's not pulling out the emotions it wants me to, and I have this like mental disconnect that I've formed where if I know I'm trying to be forcefully manipulated, like an emotion's trying to be ripped out of me by doing something like that, by shoving that in there just so I can get hyped or get an understanding or something, then I don't like it as much. But that's just me. I can understand if a lot of people like this chapter. I'm not saying it's a bad chapter, by the way. I think we're in a really interesting spot. I like the 2 other negators. The fact that the one in the cloak just completely body bagged Tatiana's armor. Whoa. The fact that the one guy can just have endless ammo, keep firing off bullets, and keep throwing hand grenades, that's really cool. And I'm really interested for the next fight, because I don't know whatever her power is, but it can destroy a town. And, you know, the inner power scale, I mean, just like, whoa, can I actually do some versus battles on Undead Unlock? Yo. But that's really it. I don't know. The chapter's, it's good enough. I'll say that. I'd say it's like a 6 out of 10. Like, I know that's bad, but it's not really, I don't mean it to be bad. That's the thing. I just think it's a little bit rushed. It's a little bit like, here, give me your emotions right now so I can get heartstrings pulled at, but I don't really like that. So I'm gonna move on to the next one, which will be Bone Collection. Now, actually, shout out to the Bone Collection, because it's actually getting low-key kind of hype, because one of my issues with Bone Collection in the past was I felt like there was rarely ever real character growth or character understanding or much character connection going on. It felt really devoid of that. It felt very much empty and vapid. Like, I didn't really like that. And while this is also a case of what I was complaining about in Undead Unlock, some of that forced connection happening in one chapter, what I like is not the fact that the forced connection happened, but that as a result, it's causing our main characters in Kazumi and Pyra to develop, because Runa was kidnapped by the Kyuubi. And for some reason, I never even considered, Fox, that's what was inside Runa, and the Kyuubi, the Nine Tails. I was just like, that's my slow mind not really connecting and figuring that out. But I'm still wondering what that other Kyuubi fragment was that is also coming to the island for some reason. I don't know. Really blowing my mind. But I got hyped, I'll admit, I got hyped. When the 2 of the 4 Exorcist Kings, basically the 4 strongest in the verse, 2 of them were there, and the Kyuubi pulled up, executed like all of the one Exorcist King squad. I was just like, yo, what's good, y'all? Y'all fell exactly into my trap. And then both of the Exorcist Kings were just like, nah, bro, I think you messed up here, bro. And they the guy who just keeps saying samurai instantly chopped off the Kyuubi's legs, and the buff guy that's actually a girl, it's weird, I forget her name, ended up slamming her fist through the Kyuubi. It was fire. And I'm getting a little bit hyped. And the way the chapter ends, where they finally have some synchronicity, like they're gonna save Runa because they developed a care for her, even though it was forced over one chapter. Bro, I'm actually a little bit high for Bone Collection. That was for Bone Collection, that was a 10 out of 10 chapter. For regular other chapters, in comparison, that was like an solid 8 out of 10. But no, we'll give Bone Collection a 10 out of 10. That was a super solid chapter. Really can't wait to see what's happening next, because now we're about to get it. Because they're gonna have to pierce through this barrier somehow, and I think the yokai spell is gonna be how they do it, because it's gonna be yokai are the only ones able to enter this barrier and stuff like that. Can't wait to see that. Bone Collection, really good this week. Next up, Ayakashi Triangle. 5 out of 10. Nothing. I mean, stuff happens in this chapter. We get Shirogane just becoming a full-on cat, which is something, I guess. And we get, what's his name? Matsuri. We get Matsuri, what's his turned hers name. Matsuri bonding with, Yao and Suzu's friends in general. I guess that's nice. I don't know, it's I guess it's good for character connections, but they just didn't really interest me, honestly, all that much, and I'm really want to see, actual... I'm not sure what we're supposed to be getting from this series, because if it's just a comedy slice of life with elements of action, and I don't know, I don't find the slice of life as I'm not finding it that enjoyable. But if it's an action series it seems to kind of want to be, then I'm waiting for other Ayakashi to show up, but we haven't really had those. It's just minor ones for now, so I'll just wait. I don't know. I still have faith. I really like the art style. That's the thing. That's why I keep reading. That's really it. The artist is really good, and I'm intrigued to see where it would go. That's really about it. I don't have much to say. Ayakashi Triangle, 5 out of 10. I don't know. It's not bad. It's a pretty bad chapter. Nothing happens. Nothing happens interesting character-wise, and nothing happens interesting story-wise. So that's it. I don't know. Now we get to another banger. I was gonna say, this week has some bangers. It had some real bangers. We get into Hardboiled Cop and Dolphin now. So I thought we were going one way, but the series alley-ooped me. It crossed me up, broke my ankles 10 times over, because now we know that Choco has the power of revelations. What she speaks into existence will occur. And as Samejima says, hold on, bro. You're telling me a kindergartner has that power? Excuse you? Because now that Choco makes all the problems, there's the immediate moral question of, yo, do we need to just get rid of Choco? Can we relax a little bit? If Choco just happens to fall in the ocean, and would we be fine? Would we be vibing? I don't know. I feel like the world is more dangerous with her existing. So she has the power of revelations. That's really interesting. And what we get on top of this is that that is what this chapter is really about. It's explaining the fact that she speaks things into existence, and that's the whole reason she was in the cult. And we also get that her mom exists. We don't know what her mom was, but it's more likely that she also had some variation of the power of revelations, or was part of the cult that Choco was part of. It's really interesting, really strange. But the thing that I'm really interested in is, okay, so if Chanko speaks things into existence, did she speak Orpheus into existence? Because now that we know, because what I thought that all of the ocean creatures could just become human. Like, that was their thing. They could do that in this world because there are so many things we don't know about the ocean. It established that premise the chapter before. But if Chanko speaks things into existence, part of the back of my mind is just like, okay, she spoke Orpheus into existence. What else did she speak into existence already? Because Orpheus implies, he has all these scars on him already. He implies that, yo, ocean gangs are out there. We're going to have to fight them, and they're going to come after Chanko again. Really, really interesting stuff. Can't wait. This is like 7 to 8 out of 10 chapter. Once again, not much happens in it plot-wise, but the revelations we get, all the but all the stuff we get in this chapter, all this immediate information that can lead me to speculate, I like that stuff. That's really, really good for me because like I like to overthink things. Obviously, that's what I'm here for. But yeah, I think it's a really, really good chapter. 7 to 8 out of 10. If not like an 8 to 9 out of 10, because I really like what this chapter gave us to chew on. Now, finally, we gonna hop into the good old Mori King. Now, last week's chapter was like, you know, it was kind of fillery, but this week's chapter is a solid 10 out of 10. Like, now the reason I say this is because it really brought up something I was wondering when we first figured out that he was a rhinoceros beetle. I'm just like, yo, insects don't really live that long, bro. But he looks like a human, so is he gonna live longer? Like, he has all this talk about being the king of the forest and stuff like that. All of that nonsense. I'm just like, how long is that gonna last? Like, does this cycle just repeat again and again and again? Because insects don't really live that long. And this chapter addresses that in a really nice and meaningful way. It introduces itself as another comedy chapter, but then it gets into like the beauty of human life and their ability to live so long and reflect on the past. And it honestly gets really sentimental and like almost like Mori King becomes a philosopher, and like Shoko is forced to respect that because it's something that she just never really considered. Like, yeah, Mori King is gonna live a pretty short life. There's not much he can do about it. It's in his nature to live, be the king for a short while and die, and he's so happy and proud that he's able to help other people and stuff like that in ways that he never could before because he's the king and he has this body and he's happy to use it in service of others for how little time he can use it. And that is really solid. Like, I hit some feels in this chapter that I just wasn't really expecting to hit, especially not from like Mori King. Like that philosophy of like how grateful we should be for the long lives we live and how we can have time capsules, how we can look back on the past and reminisce, when an insect, all they're focused on is their survival, the next meal, stuff like that. Like, I feel like it's really, really nice. It's a really, really sentimental chapter. I'd say it's a 10 out of 10 just because it hit me with something that I didn't expect. It hit me really, really well with it. Still good comedy as always with Mori King, and really good character stuff. Great 10 out of 10 chapter. And like I said, this week definitely filled with some bangers. The only letdown I really have with this entire week, if I'm being real, is Ayakashi Triangle, which it's not necessarily a letdown if I haven't been expecting much from the series in the first place. And I'd say like Undead Unlock wasn't a letdown. It just like it rubbed me the wrong way. And in My Hero Academia, it has me, but still, like 6 out of 9 series being bangers. That's some good quality. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm glad that y'all managed to make it all the way through here. Regardless, actually, you know what? I'll start putting passwords at the end of these two. I'm gonna see who actually like listens all the way through because I know these are still long. I know people don't like long form content, but I still do it anyway because it's what I enjoy. So, little password. We're gonna put the password Runa. We're gonna put Runa. If you watch the entire video, put Runa down in the comment section down below. RUNA. Let's get it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. It always helps your boy out. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.